All right, so today we're going to dive into something that's, well, basically magic, but it powers our entire modern world. We're going to use a simple fairy tale to explain the incredibly complex secrets hidden inside a microchip.
I know, it sounds like the start of a pretty weird joke, right? But seriously, the answer to this little puzzle unlocks one of the most brilliant and complicated manufacturing stories on Earth. And by the end of this, you'll see exactly how they connect.
So, to figure this out, let's step into an enchanted forest. Yeah, you heard me right. This is where our story of invention, teamwork, and, a little bit of that magic really kicks off. Deep in this forest, we meet a few amazing characters, and each one has a super specific, kind of mind-blowing talent. And together, they're about to create something the world has never, ever seen before.
Okay, so first up, meet Alice. She's a fairy, and her mind is just buzzing with these genius ideas. She dreams up the ultimate potion, a super smart ampule. One little drop, and it helps you solve the trickiest math problems and gives you energy for the entire day. She spends ages perfecting the recipe, drawing out every last detail. But here's the catch. She's got the perfect blueprint, but absolutely no way to actually make the thing herself.
So what does she do? She takes her perfect recipe to the factory giant. This guy is the master builder of the forest. His workshop is spotless, and with his giant magical cauldron and super precise tools, he can follow any recipe flawlessly. Alice hands him the design, and he just goes, "No problem. I can make millions of these for you, and every single one will be a perfect identical copy." Okay, so the potion is made, but boom, they hit one last snack. The ampule is so incredibly powerful that it gives off a ton of heat. If you just put it in a regular old bottle, it would shatter into a million pieces. That's where the packaging artisan comes in. Think of him as a master craftsman who creates this special, magical bottle. It doesn't just contain the potion's heat and power, it also protects it from everything on the outside, making sure the magic works just right. So you've got the clever inventor, the master manufacturer, and the specialist protector. It's a cool story for sure. But here's where it gets really interesting. This little fairy tale is a perfect metaphor for how we build the brains inside all of our modern electronics. This is the big reveal. Let's break it down. Alice the fairy, our brilliant designer, she represents what we call a fabless company. They are the architects. They dream up and design the microchip, but they don't actually own a factory. The factory giant? He's the foundry, a massive, ultra-specialized factory that takes those designs and builds the chips with unbelievable precision. And our packaging artisan? That's OSAT, which stands for Outsourced Semiconductor Assembly and Test. They're the ones who take that finished chip, wrap it in a protective casing, and make sure it can actually connect to the rest of the world. So when you see it all laid out like this, it's just this incredible collaboration, right? A brilliant idea from one, the perfect manufacturing from another, and that critical final protective touch from a third. And that three-step dance between the designer, the maker, and the packager is the secret sauce for how we make every single semiconductor out there. All right, let's switch gears for a second and look at this whole thing from the chip's point of view. Imagine its grand adventure, starting out as just a simple blank piece of silicon. Remember Alice's super detailed recipe? Well, in the real world, a fabless company creates this insanely complex blueprint. It's basically a city map for electricity, with billions of microscopic roads. This design is the chip's soul. It defines everything that chip will ever be able to do. Next up, that blueprint goes to the foundry, and instead of a giant's cauldron, they use these crazy powerful beams of light to literally etch those patterns onto a silicon wafer. But the principle is exactly the same. You take a design and you make a perfect physical copy of it, millions and millions of times. What this really shows you is that this is a team sport. You absolutely cannot have one without the others. They're kind of like the three musketeers of modern tech, all for one and one for all. So let's just recap that one more time to make it stick. Step 1, fabless design. That's the brains of the operation, the blueprint. Step 2, the foundry. They're the master builders with the steady hands. And step 3, OSAT, which provides the armor and all the connections so it can talk to the rest of a device. Each part is hyper-specialized and totally dependent on the others. And what do you get when this incredible team works its magic? You take this blank, shiny wafer and turn it into the magical brain that can power a robot, your smartphone, or even a supercomputer. It's a truly incredible journey from just an idea to a piece of functioning technology. If Silicon the chip could talk, I bet he'd say something like this.
We pulled off this amazing magic because we all worked together. It's all about combining those unique talents to make something way bigger than any one of them could alone.
So the next time you pick up your phone, just think about that for a second. Think about the fairy, the giant, and the artisan who all had to work together perfectly to make it happen. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other kinds of incredible hidden collaborations are powering the world all around us?